Hey YouTube, Robbie coming to you guys here with a cool new deck. So Eternity Code came out, well, in the European prints, and I got some hands on some of them through a awesome guy. So shout out to him, gave me a good deal on some cards. So I'm gonna have some couple more decks up coming for you guys soon, but the first deck is a deck that my friend Matt and I made. I told him the idea, he made a version. I told him kind of how to tweak around with it. I tweaked it myself, and then we came up on this list kind of together. Then I realized I made this list last format, but it played like more Thunder cards, so we'll get into it. But this is like the boss monster deck, guys. So first boss monster is BLS. I mean, it's a crazy good chaos monster. 2 Legionnaires. So this is a pretty chaos-driven deck. The prize card, I still own it. I'm just using this for, shuffling's sake. And then 3 Dark Arms. This is my only matching set, sadly, but they're Euro, so that at least semi-counts, right? Yeah. So these are your older boss monsters, I could say. And the next section of boss monsters are the 2 new Arch Nemesis cards. These cards are insane. They can't be normal summoned or set, just like a chaos monster. They both have to be special summoned by banishing. One is 3 different types, and one is 3 different attributes. So this is the types one, which is the dragon, and the attribute. Neither of them can be destroyed by card effects, which is really useful because they can use their effects and kind of lock out your opponent from certain things, which is really cool. But and then if they destroy that type or attribute, neither player can special summon them for the rest of the turn and your opponent's next turn. So against Salamangreat, you could clear out Cyberse or Fire. Against Orcus, you can clear out Machines. So it's just really strong. So summoning them is a little tricky sometimes, but these cards are just really good. And then the last semi-boss monster is Duo still. So I still play a Thunder package, just as you see with Duo. Play 3 Thunder Dragons. It fills your grave with lights. Normally I just go 1 for 1 for 1. So you still have the 1 in your hand and 2 lights in your grave already. It's just better that way. Unless your hand is just full of I say 2 or more dangers normally is the rule. 1 dark, or 1 dragon, 2 dark, and a hawk. So you still have a nice Thunder package here. It just puts a lot of pressure on the field. Yeah, and they fill up their graveyard with lights and darks, and it's nice. 3 Seaforts. This is one of your only normal summons in the deck. You have one other one, really. But sometimes you can summon some of the non-combo cards. And what's really cool about this is you can turn Dark Armed in him, or another card in the deck I'll show you in a minute, into this guy. Or you can turn the other card I'll show you in a minute into just Dark Arms. And I hope you would imagine you know what that other dragon is. So we'll get to it in a minute there. And then we play the 2 little dragons still. We're not doing guard dragon combos, so we're not playing any other dragon type cards really. These are just good extenders and 4 stars to make a rank 4. Small shit all package, and by small I mean just these 2. These are the best 2 to have in your deck. They suck to draw, but it's fine. They both serve their purpose when you do it. 2 Malicious. So as weird as it is to say there's 2 Malicious are in a deck again, it's just because of what the next cards can do is why Malicious is in the deck, and this card is just so powerful at link climbing, so I figured I'd keep them in the deck. And those next cards are just the Nemesis cards. These cards are just absolutely bonkers. They are so good, honestly, what they do. So all 3 of them, you reveal them, and you put back a banished monster into your deck, and then special summon them. So really, you can use Malicious 5 times in a single turn. It's crazy. And then they all have another good effect. Flag searches a Nemesis card from your deck to your hand, and that includes the 2 boss monsters, since they are Nemesis cards. It searches for them. And then I gotta remember which one's which between these two. This shuffles or adds back a banished Nemesis, except for Corridor, to your hand, and this one's from the graveyard to your hand. So if like you mill one of these cards, or like they get discarded for some reason, these two can like add them back if they're banished or in the grave. So I think this one was just the best one, just because it searches for the other 4 really. There are times where I've had to like normal summon him to do stuff. And then we have 1 Raiden. Really, any more would be bad for Lightsworns, but like I wanted to keep my Lightsworn count as low as I could with the amount of cards I have in the deck. So 1 was just like the best number. And then hand traps, we have 3 Phantasme and 3 DD Crow. Really, these could be any other type of hand traps. These were Nibiru's at first, but like as Nibiru started phasing out of the meta, and this started like phasing way more popular against a lot of the decks, like Adamancipator and Elblick, we were like DD Crow is just probably the better option. It's a dark, and this is the other dragon I was talking about with Seifert. You can send him to grave and search Dark Armed, which is kind of cool. And really, like, you can make these 6 hand spot flex spots anything that's a hand trap, but I'm trying to keep them as lighter darks, so that keeps it in as Nibiru, Ghost Ogre, Veiler, Skullmeister, DD Crow. Technically Lancia could be used, but like that's not that great. And yeah, I mean really that's just, yeah, I'm trying to keep it at light and darks only. And then we have some dangers in here. So we have one of all the 8 stars, Pogo, just because it sends another guy to the graveyard, so it's more dark fodder, which sometimes can be difficult. I think this deck's more dark than light than anything, so it's like sometimes you still need it, and dangers are still just nice. 1 Nessie, 1 Moth, and then the other 2 one-ofs. Really, these just kind of like facilitate more pressure, and sometimes get the like clunky cards out of your hand, like the extra Thunder cards or the Melees. But really, you almost could play this deck without these, but they're just so good at making curious and everything. Spells, the 2 one-ofs, they're both pretty good, and then we play the 1 fusion. We are summoning Titan in this deck. I've killed a lot of people with Titan before, so it's really nice. Then continue the fusions, or 3 should all. That way, because we are going second with this deck, guys, if you haven't really caught on to that, and if I didn't say that before, my bad. Then you have 3 Melody. Melody has quite a number of targets, actually, just because the new guy is actually a dragon, so his stats actually fit perfectly. So you have him. And then we have those 4. So really, you have 4 targets for the 3 of them, but it's a 60 card deck, so really we tried keeping it at a spot where this is like fine. You could cut one of these probably, but like I probably wouldn't because you just want to see it. Then we have 3 allures and 3 charge. Allure just because there's a lot of darks and you can cycle into better cards if need be. And then charge just because you kind of want to like fill your grave with light and darks. And that's why there's only 1 Raiden in here, as like weird as that like numbers is, but like what's cool about the Nemesis cards is if like the Raiden gets like, you start off with it and this card, you can summon Raiden, mill 2 or whatever, banish him somehow, and then like put him back into the deck and then play this to search him again. So like they add a lot of cool utility to the deck. The extra deck is actually a little hard. I think we have it at a pretty good spot with like 1 or 2 flex spots. So we'll get into it. Our 2 fusions are for our 2 fusion spells. This is just going to be normally sending Seifert, which is kind of actually just insane. And then this, you keep the 1 Thunder Dragon in hand, recycle the other 2, and pop 2 cards if they don't disrupt it. So really, it's like just easy breaking boards with those 2 cards. 4s, we play these 3. Even though you're gaining no advantage off of milling to like draw cards with her, unless like you're a god and like stacked the Raiden for some odd reason. She's just kind of like needed. This could be cut out probably like a flex spot as well, but like Dugaris making attack double and just things good. Then we have Dingirsu for sending cards and get rid of them. 38 in case you're made to go first. And then Link 2s, we have IP, Beat Cop, and Lambda. Lambda and Beat Cop are kind of flex spots in this deck as well. They're just kind of stepping stones that are generic. So you can make a light or dark generic guy to like sort of just step towards what you need to make. Like if you need to make towards Curious with light or dark, these kind of are there. This could be Access Code Talker or Saryuja, but I think Lambda is just probably the better spot for now. And then we have the Nightmares, at least the two that are more important. It's super easy to make these in these deck, and Phoenix being an extra attribute really helps. And then we have one Curious. Normally you're going to be sending Seafert or one of the, like the Mali or like Levianeer if you need it off Seafert. So really, this can be like a lot of utility. And then we have Boral Sword for killing them, and Appaloosa in case you're forced to go first. Access Code Talker would probably be nice to have in here. Just don't have access to it. Ha ha ha. But yeah, this deck's really fun. It's really crazy to play. It is a chunky 60 cards, like, but yeah, guys, check this out. Give it a try. I hope you enjoy it. Later, guys.